All right, this is ostensibly about sectors. It's really kind of a catch-all for various United States funds that I think are interesting. I've got 9 of them, I think. Let's thumb through them. First is Dbc the Commodities. This has been bananas. We started into an ascending channel on this at the beginning of the COVID recovery. And so it just went up and up and up and up. And then beginning late in February of this year, it went into like crazy pill time and went blasting above that long-term channel, and it's been above it ever since. And so I've drawn this even more sharply ascending trend line. And these things do not go to the sky. It will fail at some point. It may have already peaked. I realize that everybody and his mother is saying energy stocks the way to go, and they're so undervalued, and they haven't been this cheap since the year 1643, etc. I don't know. They seem a little bit bottle rockety to me. There's nothing especially bearish about USO per se. It's still very cleanly in a channel. It is still very cleanly above its own midline, but I'm always looking for signs of faltering. I thought we had one here, but it recovered. So it pushed above, then it failed, but it got a second win and went zipping higher just day after day after day. So I'm monitoring for this to falter, but I have jumped the gun to some degree because I have got puts on a variety of energy stocks. I did have, and I use past tense, I did have puts on XLE, which is here. And you can see it took a bit of a dip on Thursday and Friday, just like everything else. I took profits on that in my personal account, even though I think it's still quite prone to weakness. And I also had puts on and took profits on XOP, which I also think could be a great short. And I may have really jumped the gun getting out. But again, there's nothing about oil or there's nothing about oil that's particularly bearish. It's just that XLE and XOP are really, 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 really high. So that's not very scientific, but it's my observation. Now, looking at home builders, ITB, this looks great. This has been in kind of a channel for a long time, and it started topping out round about here. This is about a B- in terms of patterns, but this line's the best I could do. And we retraced to that, and we've been really just because of higher and higher interest rates, this is really beginning very shaky, and there's plenty of room in the months ahead for more downside. Of course, my favorite, which is what I have been trading, is IYR. I took profits on this also. This, by the way, this is one of the ones that I had my personal account. This one I'll probably regret getting out of. I'm very eager to get back into it. Let me show you my ideal situation would be any kind of strength early next week back toward this gap. I would love that. This gap is up at 94.50. We closed at 92.44. It's only about $2 away. So it wouldn't take much of a recovery to get there, but I'd feel very excited about getting back in. It could just go plunging and never look back, in which case I'll be an idiot. But this is one of my favorite. You've seen this so many times. I've talked about it dozens of times on Tasty Trade. I've written about it dozens of times here, and just add this to the tally. I love this short. Why did you sell your puts? Well, because I'm gay. I don't know. Don't have much of a backbone to stick around. Things were sold off so hard on Thursday and Friday. I just decided to take profits. But it's a hell of a good-looking chart. You can probably tell as I'm looking at this, I'm kind of slapping myself in the face because it's just dynamite. The good news is that I've been telling you about it all year long. So some of you maybe not as dumb as me. SMH, sometimes people use that for shaking my head, but it's the Semiconductor Index. And it's also very nice looking. Not as nice as IYR, but it's a different thing. I'd give it kind of a B, if I'm feeling generous, a B+ for its pattern quality. So that's been breaking down pretty good. I've got NVIDIA puts. Micron's looking good now. MU, if it gets a retrace. There's all kinds of good semiconductor ones out there. And the wonderful world of finance, that was also very constructive for bearish ends. Here's KBE, the regional banks. And we've been doing some nice breakdowns on this. We topped out here with this line. We broke this trend line with some drama back late in March. And we've got a new gap right there, 47.16. So that's looking super on the breakdown. And the other financial one, which is a cleaner pattern, is XLF. And this one is a pretty potent analog too. Check this out. Look at this wedge. Now look at this wedge, much bigger. Look at this breakdown with the top. Look at this breakdown with the top. Look what happened next. Also note that we're like miles above where we used to be. So this is looking fan-damn-tastic. And we've got a gap on that as well. I'll throw down another horizontal just to indicate the low for the year. Like so. But again, that could go collapsing on Monday, and I'll... well, I wasn't in this, so I can't scream at myself too hard, but as I mentioned in the first video, I'm not crazy heavy right now. Personal portfolio, all cash. Big portfolio, 84% position, 16% cash. So I'm at risk if things just plunge. I'm at risk for beating myself up. All right, that's it from this one. Taste of this and that.